Good morning. Good morning. My mathematicians. I hope you're all well. Yeah. Wow, I gotta have other guests on. I had so much more, I had like double my normal office hours views. I hope you're all well. James enjoyed being on, so I think he'll be back. And other homies from the research crew probably gonna come on at some point. I'm tired. I'm tired, guys. Yeah, real tired. Now, what are we gonna talk about today? I guess I could go back to talking about the Satake isomorphism. Yeah, let's do that. So, well, we'll see. Maybe I'll get interrupted by a bunch of questions again, which I love. That's what I'm here for. I guess I'll reiterate what I said yesterday. Hey, Deepak. Good morning. First in chat today. You know, we've got this, so say GLN, but we play this exact same game for any other algebraic group. Take some torus. Induce a character from it. In particular, induce this character that's just given by twists, or that's just given by the field norm to the power of some complex numbers, and arrange them in this fashion. If we do this, actually, we don't even need to do this. We don't even need to do this. But if we do that, we do get a unique irreducible quotient. Good morning. You still have questions about Hopf algebras, but you said, yeah, I don't really know much about those, unfortunately. Yep. I mean, basically, all I know is, yeah, I don't know. I've seen a couple examples before, and I know that if you have like an affine group scheme, you know, that should be like your global, like your ring of global sections. Basically, will be the Hopf algebra. That's pretty much all I got. And like your group, all the maps for being a group object in the category of schemes or varieties, whatever, you know, those all have to correspond to ring morphisms, and those will be like your Hopf algebra operations. Also, weirdly, if you take the Grothendieck group of the category of smooth representations for p-adic GLN, like what we're talking about, and you sum it together for all n. You can define for all n and for all products of GLNs. Then you can define like a ring. Oh no, sorry, it's not. No, it is just GLNs. Yeah, not products of GLNs. But that has something to do with the story. And then that is a big ring, and you can give it the structure of a Hopf algebra, which is pretty cool. But that's the extent of my knowledge. So, yeah. Now, we talked before about So these things will always have a unique irreducible quotient. Good morning, Edit Smith. And in fact, these induced characters from the torus, if you look at the Iwahori, remember we talked about the Iwahori subgroup. If you look at the Iwahori fixed vectors, or if you look at representations that are generated by their Iwahori fixed vectors, all of those representations will show up in one of those induced ones. And what's more is that so remember the way that we came up with the Iwahori subgroup is we basically looked at, say, GLN ZP, and we took you take the quotient by the maximal ideal to get GLN FP, and then you look at the Borel subgroup in here, and then you basically pull back along this automorphism, along this projection map, and what you get is the Iwahori subgroup. But the Iwahori subgroup is contained in this. This is GLN ZP. This is a maximal compact. And so actually, something maybe worth mentioning is in the theory of automorphic forms or automorphic representations, whatever the hell those are, they're roughly, so there's some kind of tensor product of representations. You've got a real one and then one for each of the p-adics. And if this is an automorphic representation, it implies that almost all, so all but finitely many p, will have the property actually that this is generated by its k-fixed vectors. So an even stronger thing than being generated by its Iwahori fixed vectors. So, in particular, I gotta plug in the laptop. Y'all gotta entertain yourselves for a minute. Come up with questions to distract me with. Right. So, yeah. And so, in particular, actually, I talked before about how we can take this module of the Iwahori bi-invariant smooth functions on G. Well, actually, if anyone's watching was around for the streams where I talked about these things, you can also do it with really any open compact subgroup. So you can do it with HGK as well. And so HGK, this is non-commutative. This is a non-commutative ring, but HGK turns out to be commutative actually. And in fact, if you look at this, so I'm just going to write I chi for the induced character. If you look at this induced character, and you take the k-fixed points, this will be one-dimensional. And so, in particular, each of these induced things has a unique irreducible. So let me go back up here for a second. So remember, these induced things from the torus are generally, they'll have many different composition factors. It'll have a unique irreducible quotient, if you order things this way. And the representations I'm about to talk about turn out to be sub-representations if you order things this way. And what else to say? Oh, and in general, these will be like infinite dimensional. Like typically, these will be infinite dimensional. But after you take the Iwahori fixed points, you end up with finite dimensional modules, say over the Iwahori Hecke algebra. And then if you take the K fixed points, well, that's still going to be true, right? Because you're cutting things down even more. But that was all because, there's this hidden assumption that our representations are admissible, which means exactly that things will be finite dimensional when we take the fixed points of a compact open subgroup. So if this module is one-dimensional, then that basically means that just the whole action, the entire action of this algebra is just purely going to be given by scalars. And what scalar is it going to be given by? Well, hang on a second. I have to think about how to describe this. So this algebra should have a basis, right? This is KGK. And so it should have a basis of indicator functions. Hello, derivandolo. Derivandolo. There we go. I think I said it right. Derivandolo. This is probably a stupid question. Good. I love stupid questions. Yeah. How do I write fractal letters? I mean, when I write them, they don't look very different. I'll be honest with you. They don't look very different. Let's see. I do my A sort of like this. So I do B like this. Like I put that little tail on it. Same with frac P and frac Q. I just try and like accentuate those tails. Like versus a regular A, here's like my regular APQ, right? So they don't look super different, but yeah. And then G is really, I don't know, because like this is my regular G, so I don't know. I just sort of hold it in my head that it's supposed to be a fractor G. Yeah. So I don't have good advice there. A friend once told me a trick for writing MathCal B, and so I always do it. The idea is you write a 2, and then you write a 3, and you put them together. So like this, and that's how I do my MathCal Bs. And I guess it's a similar kind of idea for a D, except it's like a 2 and then I don't know, a cup or something. Yeah. So that's like, yeah, my MathCal A. I don't like how I do my MathCal Cs, but that's, yeah. It took you a pathetic long time to figure out how to write K, algebraic closed field. Well, you mean bold K? Or just a little k? Yeah, mathfrac little k, I can't help you. I do this for kappa. I do a k, a little twirly k. That's like my kappa, which is awful. That looks awful. Yeah, I try to avoid using. Well, no, I don't like using like some books. You'll have a big K and a little k for fields. And I try and avoid that because, I don't know, big K and little k don't look that different the way that I usually write them. So I'll just use other symbols for fields. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is how I do math bold letters. This is my math bold letter collection. Yeah. Doing proofs in public gets you sus looks. Yeah. Well, do it anyways. Do it anyways. Do more public mathematics. That's what I say. Yeah. That's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm doing here today. We gotta get more math in public. Where are we here? Little K, but in seminars they do it with one stroke. Oh, interesting. Have I ever come across non-commutative geometry? I've certainly come across it, but I don't know. Math BBZ has to have the vertical lines changed around and a third line in the middle. A third horizontal line in the middle? No, gosh, what? Gross. What are you talking about? No. This is a BBZ. This is a math BBZ. This is a math BBZ. There's, this weird Z that people use for things. But that has a special own use, separate from being Blackboard. That's not Blackboard Z. That's not Blackboard Z. No way. No shot. And then there's this weird Z as well. That gets used for stuff. Hello, Paul Maurice. Well, we were... I started off talking about going back to the Satake isomorphism. We got a little further, but now we got distracted about how to write letters. But the right around L on the other left side first? The right around L... Huh? Halfway done modernizing ATIA commutative algebra. What math fonts do I like? I don't know. That's a hard... The more plain fonts, the better. I see... Well, I don't want to give away too many specific details, but I see people in this world who are using, too much, weird Greek symbols in fractor font just because it looks cool, and it really inhibits the readability. You gotta think about your reader. You're also beholden to tradition as well. But what to say about I want to learn more about non-commutative geometry. Like, I'm really interested in the idea. Let me just say something about. I don't know exactly how this fits into non-commutative geometry, but I think part of the idea is to try and understand like non-commutative rings from a geometric perspective. And there's this theorem that I absolutely love. So let me tell you the fancy version of it, but I actually care about a super special case. So it says that the autoequivalences, I think I've talked about this on stream before, of a scheme, of the category of quasi-coherent sheaves on a scheme. So autoequivalences as a group where it's not autoequivalences, but rather it's isomorphism classes of autoequivalences, will be isomorphic to the automorphism group of the scheme, semi-direct the Picard group. And as a very special case, you get that the automorphism group of the category of R modules is isomorphic to the category, is isomorphic to the group of ring automorphisms modulo its Picard group. But this is for R commutative, right? And what about when R is non-commutative? Well, okay, we have, Morita theory. There's like the Morita theorems, and these bring you towards a classification of what the automorphism group of your category looks like. But I'm hoping that in certain special cases, like maybe if R is a C algebra, not necessarily commutative, that we can recover some sort of result like this. I'm interested in recovering some sort of result like this. And the thing is, the proof of this statement, so even the proof of this in the commutative ring case, it passes through, you basically take R mod and you find a way to, like, you build some scheme out of it. And then, you prove that this, like, recovers the underlying scheme, basically. I should put quotation marks here because it's a more complicated thing. But, yeah. So I don't know if non-commutative geometry can actually help with this, but should there be algebraic geometry with non-commutative rings, algebras? Yeah, I mean, I think that's the idea, but yeah. Hello, AK. Great. From automorphic forms to alphabets, yeah. And back, and who knows where we'll go next. The hop vibration is a fiber bundle. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we sorted that out a while ago. In ATIA, there's too much math frac for ideals. So you're changing that to regular italics capital letters? I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, certainly, I think I'm not opposed to A, B, PQ. But I would use these for I mean, just ordinary ideals are like I and J, and then prime ideals would be math frac. That's how it is for me. Yeah. Prime ideals do have to be math frac. I'm willing to make some exceptions if you're doing algebraic number theory, because like you end up using like a lowercase p and then like this thing, and then you still might need like another ideal yet. And so I think you can use. I'm an open-minded man. I'm a modern man who's open to using capital letters when they're needed for algebraic number theory. ChatGPT is good. It is surprising how good it is. Do you know the Gortz Wendhorn book on schemes? I don't. So I can't recommend it because I don't know it. But hey, if other people are saying it's cool. You hear good things about the paid version of Jeopardy. Yeah, I mean, I certainly am not paying money for it. But the extremely few times I've ever used it, which is mostly just to confirm that students are cheating and copying, pasting from ChatGPT, it is surprisingly good. Grok helps you in looking up theorems, citations, and explaining points of confusion. Yeah, this always makes me nervous, though, because, like, you think it's helping you, but how do you know that it's telling you the right thing? Hello, Luna. Hello, Luna. You just like capital P for prime ideals? Yeah. But you need several things. Because, I mean, yeah. You need, like, the whole fam. You need the whole fam. What am I doing? I should have made that a heart. You need the whole fam here. You can't have a happy household without all the different ways of writing prime ideals. That's my life advice to you. As a high school math teacher, you wish to integrate more abstraction into the classroom with ways to just scan and get answers. You feel you're now ready to focus on more abstract than mechanics. Aha. Mechanics? So is this is like a physics class? If you're talking about mechanics? With ways to just scan and get answers. I'm not so sure I understand what you mean, but I'm intrigued. Always double check Grok, yeah. But it's never lied to you once, unlike ChatGPT. Interesting. Someone said, I have no idea how true this is, but I was watching something that I found interesting, and they were saying something that like certain models that are trained on a variety of languages, so models that can say translate languages or answer questions in multiple languages, tend to do better on mathematics. I have no idea how true this is. I haven't actually explored this, but yeah. Non-commutative algebraic geometry at the moment is mostly concerned with working with smooth and proper DG categories that look like the category of perf or something non-commutative. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know a ton about DG categories, just the basic things. But I'm curious, like, could it help me possibly answer this question? I mean, maybe not, because the DG categories are maybe like overpowered for what I'm trying to do, and I guess that's probably better for like derived Morita equivalences or something. What is perf again? What is it? Perfect. It's a perfect. Where's my copy of Achar? I know he writes about it. Damn. DG stands for differential graded. DG stands for differential graded. Which are technically there's a road into infinity categories through there, or at least a basic version, by considering DG algebras and then DG modules over the DG algebras. I mean, what is a chain complex but a differential graded object? Asked GPT for some exercises. Yeah, that's believable. That's definitely believable. I guess mechanics means mindless calculation. Yeah, that would make sense. One hand videos. If you're still here, feel free to add more detail to what you said. What book do I recommend for schemes? Someone who's comfortable with variety, sheaves, ring spaces. Well, I mean, why not just keep reading The Rising Sea? If you're basically happy with chapters 1 and 2 from Rising Sea. Well, chapters 1 and 2. So that don't you already know schemes? If you read chapter 2 of Rising Sea, yeah. I would, yeah, I don't know. You probably know more about schemes than I do, if you've studied that chapter thoroughly. I've just learned enough to get by for what I need to do. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know what other book to recommend. What is the most esoteric category that I know of? Most esoteric category. I don't know. Maybe I'm just very mainstream and vanilla in my... Oh, chapter 0 meant chapter 1. Chapter 0 is basic category theory. I see. Yeah, but then isn't chapter 1? Let's pull it up. Rising. I have an old version. This is the 2017 version, so I don't know how up to date this is, but some category theory. Yeah, chapter 1 is some category theory. Chapter 2 is sheaves. Yeah, I mean just read chapter 3. That would be my recommendation. Kenji Uno books on schemes are very good, but it's a 3-volume set, but it's thin books. Thin books are nice. We like our thin books, so we can read them on the go. Yeah. Got to keep things concise instead of yapping endlessly like me, you know? Say it in a couple words. Yeah, I don't remember what perf stands for, though. Perf, it's like derived... perfect complexes or something? Yeah, perfect complexes. Triangulated category. Perf is defined as the full, thick, triangulated category generated by the DGA module. DG algebra is called smooth if it is in perf of A tensor A op. Let's take a look at this. If I was to write a book, what would I write a book about? I would try and write a book about something I wanted to learn. I was watching a video last night and someone said this. They're like, "Oh yeah, I wrote this book basically because I didn't know anything about the subject and I wanted to learn it." That's not entirely true. I think I would maybe write maybe a book on representation theory of finite groups, because actually on the one hand there is more I want to learn. You know, it's like I've taken courses on it and then like, you know, I think about it and stuff, but then I go off and do other things. Like it'd be nice to sink deeper into the theory. And also I feel like, I mean, there's great books out there, but I feel like there isn't the book that I want. You know what I mean? And so I feel like I kind of want to go and write it. I guess it would be good to write on my work. Actually, my supervisor taught a course through the Fields Institute a couple years ago, like closer to when I like first arrived in Calgary. And so I took notes for the course, and we have them floating around. And our plan was to make it into a book, because like there isn't really a book on a lot of this stuff, right? Like a lot of the stuff that we work on is just like you learn about it from papers and whatnot. So the idea was to turn this into a book, and then yeah, we've just never gotten around to doing it. I mean, I don't know. There's some quote about like writing books is like an old man's game, you know, which, you know, you could say, oh, there's counterexample. You know, Rudin wrote his book right at the end of grad school, which is maybe a good time to write the book. But also in today's world, it's like you got to publish papers. You know what I mean? You got to publish papers. So like that is the more important thing. For me to be doing right now. But yeah, definitely there's good space to write a book on my research. What else would I write a book about? I don't know. There's a lot of math I could imagine myself trying to write a book about. Yeah, I don't know. Best book on topological model theory? I have no idea. I have no idea what topological model theory even is. I guess it's a part of model theory. Sorry, I can't. Unfortunately, I don't have a recommendation for you there. I have to go right away. I know it's not. Yesterday was short. This isn't quite as short, but I do have to leave. How do I write on Outlook? On Outlook? Do you use tablet with pen or only mouse? I don't use Outlook. Unless, wait, is OneNote part of Outlook somehow? I've got not sponsored, but if anyone wants to, I don't know, if anyone knows someone at Wacom, I would sponsor the hell out of Wacom. Should I message them and be like, yo, let me get a sponsorship deal? I don't think I have enough subs quite yet for that, but yeah, I would, or maybe not. I don't know. I would definitely shill the hell out of Wacom. But yeah, I just have their basic tablet. It's like, I don't know, probably depending on what you could get one of these for like $40 to $80 or something like this. This is the second one I've ever owned. I think the first one I got in like, it was in like 2017. And then I just bought this one. That survived until maybe like 1 year ago, 2 years ago. And I bring it with me, you know, all places a bunch of the time. And it's fantastic. It is great. So, yeah. I'll definitely be a sellout for Wacom. There'll be ads coming up in the middle of my live streams for Wacom. That's how you'll know I made it. Rudin versus Foland versus Royden. I don't know. I've really only looked seriously at Rudin. I mean, I've opened Foland. I don't think I've ever even opened Royden. You have no clue what it is either. Okay, well, yeah. Then, yeah. You got to find someone who knows. Because I don't. Yeah, being a math influencer, that'd be the dream. I gotta make better videos. I gotta make better quality videos, and I need to make more videos. I haven't even made a short in like a week. There was like a month or two there where I was making hella videos. I was making like 3 videos a week, but life caught up with me. So maybe there'll be more videos soon. I don't know. Anyways, I gotta go. Time, you know what time it is. You know what you got to do right now. You got to prove some theorems.